The Boys and Girls Club has a new CEO. You will get to meet her tonight. The great Pat McCallister-Leduff will be in studio, but we'll begin talking about this economy and all of these high prices. Roll it, Ed. Stop me if you've heard this one before. I went to the gas station and left depressed. That happened to me yesterday, actually. $112 to fill up a pickup truck. Jesus. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening with our economy, what's happening in the region. I've got the guy who knows about it, the CEO of the Baton Rouge Area Chamber. Adam Knapp is here with us. Hey, man.
Hey, great to be here.
What's going on?
It's an insane time. Not just the fact that we're filling up and we can't go on vacation because it costs too dang much. There was a great cover story in The Advocate recently about the challenges of finding workers right now. We have been putting out our economic data every month. The data is that there are more people employed in Baton Rouge than since the early to mid 90s. It's just this weird place in our economy where we have very low unemployment rate, lots of folks that are employed, very few people looking for work, and an enormous number of jobs that are unfilled. It's just this incredible time. And salary incomes are going up faster because of the labor shortage. Prices are going up, salaries are going up, incomes are going up, and those costs are all seem to be spiraling all at the same time.
So it's interesting to think about. And it's not all of a sudden. We've kind of been in this progression for a little while, and it's ramping up. But I am wondering what we will look like a year from now. When last you were here, you talked about all of the great things going on, the expansion of business and industry here, how the economy in the region was rolling. How are we now with everything that's going on?
So this is one of the things that is super hard to predict, and I know it's going to sound like a cop-out. On the one hand, you see interest rates going up and inflation creating a lot of concerns among businesses, as well as ongoing supply chain shortages just about everywhere. At the same time, when we talk to companies, they're seeing growth, especially on our major industrial corridor. We think next year is going to be bigger than last year. So the wave of activity that's coming, unless something changes it, there's an enormous amount of expansion that's going to be happening in the next 12 months. And the amount of project announcements that we've been having from what happened last year with Amazon that will finish next year, be hiring up substantial amounts of new people. So project wins from the last year will be paying off next year. And the project wins from this year are going to be in planning, design, and construction over the next 2 years. And there's tons of them. And so that's what's a fascinating thing to see. We had an industrial leader tell us not too long ago that a person with a 2-year associate's degree can go and earn $100,000 a year at the plant today after just 2 years of school.
Wow.
And the opportunities are like that in a bunch of different industry sectors right now.
So it's interesting.
There should be a broad wealth creation opportunity for our community.
But the juxtaposition of what you were saying compared to the other reality, you're talking about people who can earn more. The earning potential has gone up exponentially. But at the same time, the costs of doing anything has gone up, from gasoline to food prices to supplies for repairs or whatever. How do you reconcile those two realities?
So the interesting thing of us trying to track that is it's anybody's guess. I mean, a perfect economist who could see all things would be able to answer that question, perhaps, but it's perhaps impossible to answer how this all plays out. The important thing is Baton Rouge is one of the bright spots, we think, in the American economy for how much activity is happening here right now, and the potential for so much more still to do so. And so I think the question you asked is, are we going to see a recession? Is the recession going to happen and play out in our community? If you look back to what happened in 2008, in the last major financial crisis, the recession took about 2 years before it really hit Baton Rouge proper after it started unfolding. And so you never know. I mean, it could be that we don't immediately feel the effects of it. Maybe we have a minimal effect. Maybe we go straight into it. It is just almost impossible to answer. However, there are so many advantages right now that are happening in this economy, and we were pretty well, I mean, in hindsight, pretty well economically insulated from the devastating effect of the pandemic in some other places. We had a negative effect. It was short-lived, and then the response has been pretty steady over the course of the last 2 years to recover. And so it's interesting to see kind of where we are. The good news is I think we have a really robust and resilient and really, I would say, sustainable position as an economy right now.
I just, it's encouraging to hear that from you because of the reality on the streets. We'll come back and talk with Adam about what he is telling his members about the future, and then what do we do to increase the number of people who actually want to work.
That's right.
Back with the Clay Young Show in just a moment. You know, we don't often talk about it or acknowledge it, but the Capital Region really is a special place, and Baton Rouge is increasingly diverse and progressive in ways that we should all be proud of. And when you travel around the state, you hear what they think about our city, and they're pretty bullish on what's happening in the Baton Rouge region, and I think we would do better to talk more about that ourselves, those of us who are here. And the Baton Rouge Area Chamber is a multi-parish agency, but the Capital Region really is the hub of what's happening in Louisiana right now, and the growth has been amazing, but we don't really talk about it as much as we should.
So look at this. We just pulled data for migration of individuals. We used a bunch of IRS data that you can access from the federal government. In Louisiana, we have the highest parish in migration in the state of Louisiana of any parish in the state, that folks in Louisiana seek to move here for jobs, which we were surprised and excited to see. We believed that we were doing well, but the East Baton Rouge Parish and generally the metro region is sort of the destination economy for Louisiana, which is awesome to see, and it's something that should give confidence. We also see in-migration of folks from other states into Baton Rouge, folks moving here for job opportunities. We definitely need to push that more.
Yeah.
We're going to be investing over the next few years in pretty substantial marketing to help folks discover why they should move and choose to live in Baton Rouge or somewhere in the 9-parish region, but especially doing that out of state.
Yeah.
Because the opportunities here are so vast. Here's the statistics. So there are 32,000 open jobs in Baton Rouge today. 32,000.
Really?
We have probably 12,000 people classified as unemployed looking for work right now.
Wow.
And that number is the mismatch. When you say, hear everybody say, hey, I can't find workers, I can't find workers. That number tells you the story in
so again,
one number.
32,000 job openings.
Yeah.
Only 12,000 people who are classified as unemployed right now.
Looking for work, yeah.
So that is a perfect segue into what I talked about going into the break, and that is what are your members, businesses saying? What are people doing to close the talent gap? Because they can't find people. What's going on?
So a few really important things that we're trying to advise folks. One is make sure, well, for job seekers, first of all, your intro was, hey, how do we get more people to look for jobs? So BR Works, we launched this in February. For the first time, Baton Rouge has a jobs portal where all 32,000 open positions are aggregated to one place. If you're looking for a job in the Baton Rouge area and you've posted that to some website nationally, it's scraped and put in one place called brworks.org. So if you're a job seeker, you can go to one place and search through all the current open and available positions. It's super cool. So if this is your resume, you can actually scan your resume in, upload it to the website, create a profile, and it'll match you with jobs that match to your defined skill sets that are on that resume. And you can add other skills or remove them. It's kind of like Spotify. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. I'm good at this. When you do that, it actually ranks the jobs based on your skills. So it is, technology is never quite perfect. It's pretty good at figuring out these are the open positions that are matching up with what you're good at. And that hopefully helps people cut through the noise. It also tells you, we have got databases that are pulling from multiple things. It'll tell you how much that job typically pays. So if they don't post the pay for the job, you can see roughly what that job in that industry typically pays for a Baton Rouge market.
So where can people find that? Is it brac.org or is there a separate?
brworks.org. We actually are running a TV campaign that's going to be running for the next few months to try to drive people to this website, hopefully to do what you're asking. It's how do you get more folks looking for work? The library is using it as their primary jobs portal. Employ BR is using it as their primary jobs portal. So a lot of the partners that work on job search and support for individuals, frankly, if you're re-entry, if you're been dislocated from the workforce during the pandemic, it's kind of good for everybody.
brworks.org.
That's it.
All right, thank you, Adam. Back with the new CEO of the Boys and Girls Club. Should be an interesting conversation. Come on back here. Well, Boys and Girls Club of Metro Louisiana, they have a new boss. Here she is, Angel Nelson, formerly the Chief Operating Officer at Boys and Girls Club, and now got the whole shooting match that you're in charge of. It's such a great organization, and it's funny. I was talking with Superintendent Lamar Davis yesterday, and because we were in a meeting, and he was raving about Boys and Girls Club and his impact on it, and he's an alum of that organization. First up, as CEO, congratulations. What's your vision for the organization?
Well, our vision is to impact more kids that we serve more kids with quality, impactful program, and reach more areas of Louisiana. We're in 4 parishes, 9 clubs, 4 in Baton Rouge, 1 in Slidell, 1 in Covington, 1 in Gretna, and then 2 in New Orleans. And there's so many more places that we could be in, serving more kids.
And we've had this conversation, you and I, about the impact on so many young people who are in parts of our communities who don't have constructive activities to get into. How do you and your organization change that for young people, young men and women?
Yeah, I mean, I think most importantly, it's also partnerships. We're in Baton Rouge, we're in schools. Great relationship with the school and Dr. Narcisse. He's totally, he's totally in support of our kids and what we do, and he believes in our mission. Clay, our mission is to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. And it's not only going to take us as an organization, it's going to take the whole community. And so where we have the schools that support us, we have the Police Foundation that supports us, of course. We have other organizations, other companies and corporations and individuals that support us. BREC supports us. We're in BREC facilities and NORD facilities in New Orleans as well. So it's going to take all of us to make sure that happens.
So you just heard my conversation with Adam about what's happening with the economy and the employee shortage. And I was on a call last week with another nonprofit here about getting talent and keeping talent. Is that impacting what you do, a shortage of being able to find people to bring into your organization?
Absolutely. That is very, I mean, and I know it's across all industries, but it is across our organization as a nation, and so in the United States. So it is, we can't serve more kids if we don't have the right staff, and we're not just going to hire any staff member. We want someone that has the passion, that's trained, that's professional, that has an expertise in certain areas as well. But if we don't have the right staff, we can't serve more kids. And we do have waiting lists at our clubs for this summer because we don't have staffing.
There's a staff shortage. What's the biggest thing that you think a young person gains from the Boys and Girls Club experience?
Oh my gosh, confidence. They have hope and opportunity. Look, and let me tell you why. And I'm excited to be the CEO because I'm actually a product of Boys and Girls Clubs. My kids, and that's in a parent aspect. My kids grew up in Boys and Girls Clubs. I was in the Navy, and I'm going to tell you my age. Back in 2001, my kids were 5, 7, and 10. I became a single parent and decided to get out of the Navy after 11 years. And so I landed a great job with a local PBS station in Virginia. And one of the issues was I didn't have after-school care for my kids. And so being able to, I found the Boys and Girls Clubs. They learned life skills, character and leadership development, education. They had homework time. So I was able, as a parent, to not only go back to school, but go back into the Navy and complete 20 years and retire. And then show my kids that I was a productive, caring, responsible citizen. So not only am I a parent and I'm a in a product of Boys and Girls Clubs on the parent aspect, but that's where we show that we really do what we say our mission is. And so to become productive, caring, responsible citizens. And we change the communities, we change kids' lives, we change parents' lives, and that's what Boys and Girls Clubs is about.
That's a fantastic answer. I got about a minute here. I want to ask, what's going on this summer? Anything going on that you want people to know about? Because we're going to talk more, you and I, about what you're doing, but anything happening this summer people should know about? Yeah,
well, we have our summer program going on right now. We also have a huge event going on this evening, actually, that you're going to attend, Clay, called Blue Door Blues. It is at the Audubon Zoo at 6 p.m. tonight. We're going to have some very special guests. Can't tell you who. You'll see when you get there.
You said you're going to have some Saints players there.
Yes,
Can I skip that part?
No, yes, please. Shh, that's a surprise.
Oh, I'm
Can't
sorry.
tell you.
bring my 49er hat
But
with
it is
me.
a great fundraiser, and it's really showing, you know, the support from the community tonight as well. We have great board members as well that's worked very hard, and staffing that worked very hard to pull this off. So I'm excited about it tonight.
Well, look, Ange, I'm happy to see you in this role, and I know you're going to do great at Boys and Girls Club, and we'll be talking more because we're working together on something.
Yes,
So.
yes.
All right, back with the great Pat McCallister-Leduff talking about what's happening this weekend. Come on back. Oh, I was so hoping to come back on and give Melvin a hard time about something that happened during commercial break, but unfortunately he was equal to the task, so I can't give him a rough time. But I got one of my favorite people here, Pat McCallister-Leduff, and how you doing, Pat?
I'm doing excellent.
Well, this weekend there are Juneteenth celebrations going on here, as are they around the country, and I'm noticing something in the last couple of years as it relates to Juneteenth, and that is this open celebration of it in the way that there are events, but also companies are marking it by closing offices, governments are doing it as well. To what do you attribute this new attention to this memorable date on the calendar?
Well, 30 years of coming, number one. But now that it's a state holiday, national holiday, we're just pushing toward having companies embrace the fact that this is a holiday, sort of like we did with Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
But I see it progressing much, fast. Yeah, more fastly. Yes.
And I'm telling you, it's very diverse in people's celebration and acknowledgement of it. Adam Knapp was here earlier, and he and I were talking earlier in the week about him coming on, and his offices at BRAC are closed tomorrow in observance of the holiday as well.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of been a comfortable transition
It
into this
has.
that's refreshing, quite
It's very
frankly.
refreshing, yes.
So let's talk about the impact of the holiday and how America should view it in thinking about the culmination of the Emancipation Proclamation and everything that happened.
Well, America should embrace it because it happened. People have had open conversations about what happened, not to be blamed, but to be a friend of Harriet.
Sure. So in context to what happened in Buffalo about a month ago and where we are now, I do think the country could afford serious, candid conversation about race relations.
Yes.
And being able to openly talk about a mindset. I'm sure you saw earlier this week there were a group of white supremacists who wanted to crash a gay pride event in a part of the country. And there's been, I don't think it is destructive or accusatory to have a real conversation about some mindsets that exist in some people. It's not
Yes,
everyone.
That's right. That's right.
Why don't we do that?
Because we need more people like you. You know, it's an open conversation. You know, you go on your job, they don't want to talk about it. It's kind of like when Trump was, getting into office, and when Obama was getting into office. Certain things they don't want to talk about, and you don't have to talk about it within your company, but there should be a diverse committee at every major company, so that everybody else can follow through.
You know, I was just at a meeting yesterday, and it was on the campus of Southern. And there is a research piece that's going to be coming out later this year, and I was privy to the findings. And in the piece conducted by the great Dr. Christy Perry, sociologist there at Southern, and she talked about inner city citizens saying when they see officers, they want to see more diversity. Candidly, they want to see more white officers.
Right.
Now, the average person would think, really? No, I don't think diversity hurts anybody.
Diversity does not hurt. Yeah, it does not hurt. And even in the cadets that are coming, one of the things that we shared with the chief is you have to be introduced to that early on.
She talked about that yesterday,
too.
too.
You'll get tainted once you get in, right? So this is required. This is where we're going. And eventually the old guys would just die off.
Well, as you delicately put that. Talk about events going on this weekend.
Oh, lots of events going on. There's one at Southern University. There's a Unity Fest being put on by the mayor's office with the presence of Congressman Troy Carter coming. In memory and honor of Sadie Roberts Joseph, we're going to do that caravan again that we started out because of COVID, but we're going to keep it going because we believe that Unity caravan actually will give the opportunity for everybody to send somebody for this caravan. So at 11:15, we're going to kick off from 222 St. Louis, and then we're going to pass the new museum at 603 and then turn left to the current museum and pick up some more folk, and then just head on out to the Juneteenth celebration over in Gussion with C. Denise Marcel.
Well, listen, people need to hydrate because it's going to be fish grease hot outside. So I got about a minute, but I want to ask you, you brought up Sadie Roberts Joseph, and I thought about her this week. I, sometime in the near future, being the next few weeks, want to do a few segments about that lady.
That'd be awesome.
I don't believe Baton Rouge should ever forget her legacy.
Yeah.
I miss phone calls from her. And you couldn't tell her no if she called to ask you for something.
Now, Clay.
That's exactly right.
This is what we're going to need to happen.
And you weren't going it would be like, this is when I expect you here, not are you coming?
Right.
All right, I got 30 seconds. Listen, Pat, thank you for what you do in our city. You know, I'm just so proud of you. And listen, go out, celebrate this holiday.
Do something.
Unity does matter. We're better when we work together.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. And y'all hydrate this weekend. I'm not kidding about that heat. It's hot outside.
It's hot out there, yes. Oh, my goodness.